Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Clark County student was killed on the way to school in what should have been the safest parts of their day. And soon, counties in your area could be some of the first National Heritage Sites in Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are slowly but surely making our way to 6 o'clock this morning. Today is September 4th, 2024. Let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast.
Good morning, Madison. Good morning, everyone. 57. You can see some clouds with the night vision still on our camera. From above the station here at WYMT, the clouds, the lights going on with some of the stores, as you can see below. Visibility not a problem this morning. There's a little fog being reported near Jacksboro and near the state line with Tennessee, but nonetheless, everything's a-okay. 10s on the board for visibility. How about temperatures? I know there's a few of you, like Madison, who think it's cool this morning. Hey, it's 57, we're running below average, but looky here. A lot of us 5 to 10 degrees warmer than this same exact time yesterday morning. Cloud cover wise, a lot of it across the Commonwealth this morning. We do find some breaks in the clouds that will allow for some sun to shine as we head through the day today, and a forecast high this afternoon in Hazard. Partly sunny the way we call it, and we'll get up to a high of 80. Well, we got some showers on the way. You may not like the timing, especially if you're a football fan. Hint, hint. Details with the ARH First Alert 7-day forecast coming up as we head through the 6 o'clock hour. Madison?
Tim, thank you. A teenager is dead after the coroner says she was hit by a school bus in Clark County. She has been identified as 15-year-old McKenna Letcher. It happened at approximately 6:45 yesterday morning at the intersection of Veterans Memorial Parkway and Ironworks Road in Winchester. Letcher was a freshman at George Rogers Clark High School. One child says she and another student were the oldest on the bus, both just 10 years old. The rest of the kids were in elementary school.
It was very, very scary. And then you also have these other little biddies, so you're just trying to keep them occupied up there so they don't look at any of it.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office is investigating what led to the crash. Clark County Superintendent Dustin Howard says grief staff will be available district-wide for as long as needed. Governor Andy Beshear took to social media in response to yesterday morning's tragedy. He says, quote, "My heart aches for the family and friends of this precious child lost in this tragedy. Please join Brittany and me in lifting up the Clark County community in prayers and comfort," end quote. And another school bus incident yesterday, this one in Bell County. Bell County School Superintendent Tom Gramble says the bus was driving down the road in the Kettle Island community when a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction did not give the bus enough room to pass. The back wheels of the bus then left the roadway, causing it to fall into a ditch. 3 students were on the bus at the time. No injuries were reported, but one student was taken by family members to the hospital to be checked out. Yesterday, some public education advocates voiced their concerns about Constitutional Amendment 2. The measure will be on Kentucky's ballot in November. Organizers spoke about how they feel Amendment 2 would negatively impact communities throughout the Commonwealth. If passed, some public funds would be able to be distributed to private schools.
And instead of making our public schools better for all our kids, politicians in Frankfort want to rob public schools and give a select few students a voucher to go to private school. The government shouldn't be picking winners and losers. We should be helping all of our children get off to a great start.
A spokesperson for the group Kentucky Students First, Yes on 2, who are in favor of the amendment, says, quote, "Amendment 2 puts students first and gives parents more control over their children's education. It updates language in Kentucky's Constitution and allows our legislature to design and fund education choice programs. School choice has broad support from both sides of the political aisle, red states and blue states alike. Kentucky is one of only 2 states, North Dakota is the other one, without school choice," end quote. The first day of the 2024 Kentucky Emergency Services Conference wrapped up in Louisville yesterday. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman spoke during the opening ceremony. She highlighted changes the Beshear administration made to better support first responders and 911 dispatchers from across Kentucky. Coleman also made a point to thank workers for their sacrifice during the catastrophic events that have hit Kentucky in the past few years.
When you think of everything that we've been through, from the pandemic to the historic tornadoes in West Kentucky and the catastrophic flooding in East Kentucky, we would be telling a very different story were it not for your sacrifice in putting others above yourselves.
The conference will continue through Friday.
Just about 6:05 on this Wednesday morning, waking up not as cool. I can see Madison rolling her eyes because she thinks it's cool this morning. But when you look at temperatures from 24 hours ago, yeah, it's about 5 to 10 degrees warmer, still running below average. A lot of clouds across the Commonwealth. There are some breaks in the clouds that will allow for the sun to be seen today to a point. Kind of a filtered, milky look to the sky. 57 cloudy outside our door here in Hazard. 61 is where we get to about 7:30, 7:45. By the lunch hour, we're getting into the 70s. We'll top out at 80 this afternoon. We've got to talk about a cold front, what that'll end up doing, and then even colder. Your ARH First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in minutes. Madison?
Some words you just don't want to hear on a Wednesday morning, Tim, but thank you. The Commonwealth is one step closer to having a new designation because of efforts made by officials with Kentucky Wildlands, an initiative with the Eastern Kentucky Pride program. I was able to speak with leaders about their progress toward economic development. In the United States, there are more than 60 national heritage areas generating more than $12 billion in 1 year.
There currently are no national heritage areas in Kentucky, and we definitely deserve that recognition.
Tammy Nazario is the director of Kentucky Wildlands. She says the region has the educational, recreational, cultural, historical, and natural components to be a national heritage area.
As we all know, we have a very strong heritage in the coal industry. And so the goal of these national heritage areas is to tell these stories of significance in unison.
To be designated a national heritage area, a region must participate in a feasibility study conducted by the National Park Service.
We have worked diligently on this for nearly 5 years. December will be 5 years. So this process is very complicated. It's a lot of work, and it's something that can only be done by Congress.
The study found 35 of the counties in the region meet the criteria of a national heritage area. Now it will need to be made official by legislators.
A national heritage, area is going to last for generations and generations to come. And so I think it speaks volumes of our legislators in thinking about the future.
Nazario says the Kentucky Wildlands will soon create a management plan to determine what is next for Kentucky Wildlands. As one of the champions of the bill that led to the feasibility study, Congressman Hal Rogers provided a statement to WYMT. Here is part of his quote. Southern and Eastern Kentucky is blessed with a beautiful and thriving Appalachian wilderness with unmatched hiking trails, waterfalls, caves, natural bridges, and unique rock formations for outdoor adventures, along with a rich history of talented musicians, artisans, and skilled professionals, end quote. Many fitness lovers may enjoy kayaking the Green River. The site in the Mammoth Cave National Park was voted amongst the best places for a Labor Day workout. In a poll of more than 3,000 fitness enthusiasts, 150 locations were named, and Mammoth Cave National Park was voted 22nd. Other area locations that made the list include running the Louisville Loop, which came in at 71st, and hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which was number 7. Thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, with less than a week until the first Harris-Trump debate, the candidates are preparing as they make the middle class a priority for their campaign.